recording. Here we go. All right, folks, sorry about that. So you can be social, and we want you to be able to take advantage of the ability to use your social media to the highest and best extent possible. So this morning I hand off again to Kristen Fredericks. She is our digital administrator with the marketing team, and she will guide us through this session of You Can Be Social. Kristen.
Thanks. When I started the recording, I lost one of my windows. So can you give me 1 second?
Just all right. Sounds
To
good.
pop back in here. I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but give me 1 second, guys.
I changed the settings so no one could hijack the screens, and I made you the only administrator, I think. So I think that's where it all came into play.
Okay.
I'll fix it on the next ones.
It's okay. All right. I think I've got my screen back. Okay, there we go. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to talk about how you can be social today. I'm going to show you a couple of resources that we have available to you. I'm going to show you some accounts that we're going to kind of take a look at that are doing a pretty good job and are pretty normal people who are just kind of doing a fabulous job on social media. All right. So the first place I wanted to go today for our You Can Be Social are things that are available to you right now. I know a lot of you are taking this class for great insight. I only have a half an hour, so I'm not going to be able to explain everything that goes on with social media, but I did want to show you a couple things that are available to you this very second. A lot of what we've been talking about today is actually available in BHHS resource itself. If you have not had a chance to check out the IQ system, I highly encourage you to do so. The IQ system is basically a network learning system from BHHS, where other agents and other companies are allowed to send in their best practices. They're also bringing in industry experts to help us with every aspect of our real estate business. Part of that real estate business, of course, is social media. And let me go ahead and log in here. So IQ is huge. There's a lot going on in here, but I do want to show you two resources that are available to you right now to show you some more on social media. If you scroll all the way down here, there's a section here called Instant Inspiration. Ooh, Tim, I'm the only one who can let people in right now, unfortunately. There we go. And I want to show you on this Instant Inspiration, this social media playbook. If you go ahead and click on social media playbook, some of the things that we talked about in the initial class, and then you're going to hear from me today, are best practices for social media. The IQ social media playbook goes into some of the same stats that I may have shared with you earlier. If you were in my first class, some of this may be new to you, but if you continue to scroll all the way down, you're going to see these social media playbook articles. Some of the first questions we have will be, well, how can I make fill in the blank better? So that might be, how can I optimize my LinkedIn profile? How can I optimize my Instagram profile? Where can I get content from? What are some of these best practices? And you have all of these articles at your fingertips right now. So if you're going to make a priority for 2022, or maybe just over the rest of the year to really get your social profiles in place and optimized, this is a great place to start. So let me click on the LinkedIn one just so you can see what that looks like. We've been working with a lot of agents on LinkedIn. Hopefully you got to see the stats video that went out from the company yesterday that showed that our LinkedIn engagement, so that is the percentage of people who are interacting with our posts, not necessarily the total number of people, just the percentage, is higher than Facebook right now for our business. That's huge. It also means that we have a lot of eyes on Berkshire Hathaway in LinkedIn, and it's a great place for you to optimize and be in that space right now, especially as we have all of that marketing for the We Get It campaign, just churning out there, bringing in lead generation, driving traffic to websites, acknowledging our agents' experience and our community. So if you're going to look at that LinkedIn optimization that's available to you here, there is going to be a video. This is actually done from Neil Schaefer. He is an industry expert, not necessarily involved with BHHS himself on here. And then you can watch that video, but it's also going to show you all the different things that you should do to make your LinkedIn profile better. It's going to give you some additional links and options. And then of course, you have the additional playbooks down here as well. So do take a look at this as we talk about this kind of stuff today, at what you should be doing for your different profiles. This is really the foundation of where you need to start. I can talk to you today about best practices all day long, but really you need to get your foundation ready to go when you're ready to launch this business. We talk about this with your website too, making sure that your website is ready to drive people there. Same thing for your social media profiles. Making sure that you have good links, making sure you have good visuals, making sure those about sections are filled out. As Tim will mention, making sure that all of your disclosures and disclaimers are available. Nearly every social media profile has an about section where you can either put the most important information for your disclosure and disclaimer and then one click off, or you're going to be able to fill in all of your disclosure and disclaimer information about what company you're associated with, equal housing, your BHHS disclaimer, things like that. So you're going to want to get these foundations ready. They actually don't take that long. To do this, I would say, between now and the end of the year, if you guys are looking at doing some profile optimizations, maybe pick one a week. Your marketing department is also able to help you with some of this graphic and artwork as well. You'll find that the artwork for things like cover photos or some of the other things like your board photos, or if you're on Instagram, you'll notice that you have small Instagram pins where you can have graphics. Some of these are easily creatable by an agent, no problem. Some of the systems allow you to choose something from stock that already exists. But if you do need some help, just go ahead and put a marketing order form in for some custom work and let us know which social media channel you're trying to do for your cover photo or for whatever graphic you need. And we can help you through that process of developing that piece of artwork and getting that uploaded for you to get your profiles up and running. I want you to make sure that you see these. There are classes in addition to optimization on establishing your social profiles. And again, these just go into more and more detail about what kind of profile you can expect on here, what you'll be doing with that profile, and then again, down to those optimizations. In addition to this, if you go back to BHHS homepage and you go to the Learn Center 2.0, BHHS has contracted with a number of leading social media industry experts to provide education on best practices for social media. Katie Lance's talks are in here. My screen is going to look a little bit different than yours just because I am an admin in the system, but you'll be able to get some of the classes that they have for social media and things like that. If you're looking for it, just go ahead and pop it into that search bar at the top and it'll bring up the topics that are available to you for social media. The other option you have is available through Town Central. We've talked about this tool before, but Paradigm. So Paradigm has a tool in it called Reach Social. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to have pre-generated content available to you. And that's available in your dashboard. I'm going to log in here as Brenda today. Brenda actually has this set up for herself on here. She is running through Paradigm Reach Social a couple of campaigns, and it is posting automatically to her social media accounts. So she is posting some of her listings. She's posting some general articles. And then, of course, it's just going to show you all of the postings that you have available to you. And I want you to notice you're able to change all of these. A lot of our agents don't go in and change these up to make them more personal for either their area or for what you want to say. Your voice is very much your own. You may want to change what this reads, but continue to use this article. So I highly encourage you, if you are using Paradigm, to make sure that when you get that notification in your email, to go ahead and check your schedule and then make these sound like your voice. And then also remove things that you don't want to post that may not be relevant to you or just may not be you. And also you are able to schedule your own posts through here. A lot of people do not realize that for Paradigm. Even though this is all generated posts from our Reach Social program, you are able to actually insert your own so that you can pre-schedule posts to go onto your social media accounts right through Reach Social. Speaking of scheduling, I'm going to go back to the Learn Center resource here real quick, and back to that IQ homepage. Because as we continue to talk about best practices, one of the things that we're going to talk about is varying your content. You aren't going to want to rely on, I hate to use this word, the crutch of generated content. It is there to help fill out your social media so that you don't look like you're not in the business, and to just be able to curate some interesting information. But it shouldn't be the only thing you're posting to your social media. That's there just to interject a few interesting things in between your personal postings, in between those things that are about your community events, in between those things that showcase your own listings and showcase your own personality, showcase your own business. Your own neighborhoods and things like that. So just as a reminder, everything I'm showing you here today, especially things that are automatic, are only there to supplement things that you should be doing to be social online. Social media, I hate to say it, is all about being social. You actually have to talk to people and network with people and connect with people and make sure that you're creating those personal connections, just like you would if you were any business networking group or any community event. You're going to want to make sure that you're having those personal conversations with people about things that are very relevant to our area. Back on IQ, we do have something called the campsite calendar. If you haven't had a chance to look at this, this is a great way to kind of get used to posting more often. This one is already updated for November. You'll also see that the December calendar is probably being filled. But BHHS has provided us with this calendar. You don't have to follow it. It's just there for inspiration, but you can use it if you need to. That just gives you a general idea of things that you should post about. So today we're looking at Veterans Day. Obviously creating a post that's fairly heartfelt, that's directly from you about Veterans Day would be perfect. You know, we all have different experiences for Veterans Day. Some of you may be veterans, some of you have other family who are veterans, some of you have family that are still serving, some of you have a personal experience or story that you may want to post about Veterans Day. But it's just encouraging us to post things about Veterans Day, and they have a jump start in here. So if you click on any of this, it's going to take you into BHHS marketing resource, and it's going to bring up all the Veterans Day options you have. Some of this may appeal to you, it might not, but it does give you a little jump start on some social images that are available to you, and then also something that you might want to say. So you're welcome to use any and all of these images in here. Going back to that campsite calendar, sometimes it doesn't provide us with something. So in this case, I'm going to look at the 13th, which is Saturday. This is a personal passion content. This is asking you to post something personal passion. You know, we just had the Toys for Tots cruise in at the Harborview office last weekend. If you are an old car enthusiast, maybe you post that you took your old car and your antique car, vintage car, whatever you have, out to that cruise in. It's a community event. You're there for Toys for Tots. You show off your own car. That's a personal passion content. Personal passion content can be anything. It can be a picture of your kids. It can be a picture of your pets. It can be something that you love to do for your clients. It can be a client event. Personal passion truly is about anything that's either personal, relating to your business, or even just personal for you. So it's just asking you to just remember to post that personal connection for people. It's giving you the day off on Sunday. And then it's also going to talk about things like this: strategic, persona, or niche lifestyle promotion. For those of you who are in luxury, this would be a great just reminder. Oh, let me post my luxury listing. Let me post something I've done for my luxury agents. Let me post that testimonial from my last luxury client. I have a piece of waterfront for sale. Let's post about a niche lifestyle, and then send them off to a link to look at all the waterfront homes. My niche market would obviously be pets. I'm going to post something about, I'm going to be posting something about all the, you know, the communities with dog parks, because it's all the rage right now to put a dog park in and an amenity for a neighborhood. And I can post a link down to my website that shows all the houses you can buy right now that have a dog park as an amenity. It's a niche lifestyle promotion. It can be anything you want. And then, of course, it's just talking, and it's going to continue on through your newsletters and personal passions, different holidays and things like that. This is fabulous. They've done all the work for you, just as a reminder of things that you can post. is both automatic content to just fill in those spaces when you don't have time, or when you haven't scheduled that time block to do social media, or when you know you're going to be out with clients all day to get something scheduled. But it's also reminding you that you need to continue to make those networking and personal connection posts to everyone. So this is available to you from BHHS Resource. Again, all free, all available all the time, and it's in Resource Center under the IQ system. Just take a look at the social media playbook, and then of course at the campsite calendar, and then tie that in with Paradigm Reach Social for posting some additional curated content in between those personal posts. So speaking of personal posts, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was what it would look like for posting on these different social media channels, and how best you can do that to kind of curate stuff that's both personal and local, but also curated, just to be able to save you time and some best practices. So I just want to show you a couple of different accounts today of some agents and some agencies that are doing a good job. They're not necessarily BHHS. I did want to pick some people from outside of our area as well. But these are just people who are doing a good, normal job. You can actually tell that a lot of these people are doing this on their own. They haven't hired a big social media firm to do this for them. And they're just doing a fairly good job. I'm going to go ahead and start with Facebook, which is kind of our big one. And I'm going to show you just a fairly good account here of an agent. So, and what they've done to their profile. So interesting enough, they have not done their full name. So James Longstank on their thing. They've done JimSellsSt.Pete.com. Totally okay to do this instead of using your real name. I don't always recommend it because they have, Facebook actually does do some directory work. So if you've Googled somebody, you'll notice that their Facebook account comes up. That includes their business account. So if they're looking for you by name, it might be important if you have a really common name or something that is not as common, or you have a really good website, you may want to do a tactic like this. But you'll also notice that they filled out everything that they have. They have all their buttons filled out. You can go shopping for homes on their website. That's going to take you right down to their website. They have filled out things like their ask questions on here. These are actually customizable on Facebook. You can change this to any questions that people can ask you. So if I click this, it's going to immediately message this website page, so this agent or this agent's assistant, and say, can I speak to an agent? What area do you serve? You can change these questions to fit your needs on here. And don't forget, I'm looking at this from a consumer perspective. So I'm not logged in as an agent, but as a consumer. And as we continue to go down, he has filled in a lot of his information. He's in St. Pete, so he has some information about a new proposed building that's coming in. This is great information about the area. He has shared content from his own company. So we generate a lot of user content that you can share directly from our page, and also your offices are generating content as well at this point. And you can always share those to your page, especially if you're just looking for something quick and easy to share that's a curated content that might be local. In this case, it's a video about getting the best price for your home that was generated from the company. And they had personalized it for their agents in this case. So here we go. He's done a local market update. So this is something that is pretty easily generated. Do not forget that we have the Domus tools available to you in Rain that make this kind of update really, really easy. If you have a site builder website, you also have the ability to share down to those local updates, and they're available on every single website out there. So you have those Domus tools already built into your website that you can also share. But this is just a quick graphic that was made with just some basic information. Some things about some services that he's used, some more videos, things you should know before making an offer on a house. These are all just videos, some basic information. So, and then here we start getting into some of the curated things. These are very similar to things that we share off Paradigm. So the coolest athlete home. So it doesn't have anything to do with local, but it's something that's really clickable. And it's something that people are like, wonder what that is. And they like to go ahead and click on down to it. How much is your home worth? And then here we go with more reviews. So he's sharing his reviews from his own customers, and then giving a personal account of it. Here are some more personal accounts from his customers, some more blogs, more information. He's done a nice collage of photos, but you can see on this account, he's done kind of one of everything. And this is something that we've always encouraged you guys to do. It's a little local, it's a little national, it's a little informative, it's a little personal, it's a kind of a little bit of everything. It's a great way to curate business, but it's also a great way to appeal to a wide variety of people. Is your page going to look exactly like this? No. This page is all about Jim. This is all about him. It's all about his personality, what he likes, how he sells, how he talks to people. But it just gives you a good idea of how you can curate both personal, local, and kind of national content and kind of fill in the gaps, but have great coverage with lots and lots and lots of different kinds of things on your Facebook account. This is the kind of thing we'd like to see on Facebook. If you can't post daily, that's okay. Maybe if you're starting out with Facebook or you kind of want to get back into it, you want to get into that habit, maybe you commit to doing this twice a week and you fill in the rest with Paradigm. Maybe you say, I'm going to time block it and I'm going to post on Tuesdays and Thursdays, my own personal content, or I'm going to follow the campsite calendar on BHHS, and I'm going to post my own personal content on Saturdays, on Mondays, and on Wednesdays, like it's asking me to, and maybe popping in some curated content from Paradigm or maybe from BHHS resource in between, and kind of get that started. If you're really active on it, you can certainly post every day with something new and make it personal and still intersperse some of this other stuff in here. Let's take a look at a couple of Instagram accounts. Since Facebook ties into Instagram now, you can actually share back and forth. But I wanted to show you a couple of accounts of some agents who are actually doing well combining both real estate and their personal lives in their Instagram accounts. This happens to be an agent in California. And if you'll notice, he has information about his company, information about his team, information about the area, and also his baby. This is a great way for people to get to know you. So I like this account. It's both a personal account, but also a kind of a professional, and it gives a little bit of personal and life to this agent. So here we have some just solds. We have some great things about his kids. We can obviously get to know that he loves his family. Wow, here we go for an old car. Speaking of which, another just sold. He's at an industry event. More information about his family, more sold. So he's kind of just interspersing all sorts of different things, including some listing information on his thing here. So lots of different stuff. This is a new listing with some great information on here available as well. So here we have an agent who's really curating some different things about his area, different things about real estate, but also showing his really personal side about his family. So it's a great way to kind of toot your own horn, promote your business, but also make those personal and community connections with people. Here's another agent who's kind of doing the same thing. I picked, unfortunately, two agents that have kids, but it's kind of it was kind of random to do it, but notice that she's defining herself as a wife, mother, realtor, where she works, her phone number, and then remember we talked about Linktree. We talked about this in a couple of classes where you can actually create a place where people can link off to multiple links on Instagram, since Instagram only allows you one link right now. So you can search for homes, how much is your home worth, if she's ready to buy and sell. She's got a podcast. And then she's starting to do some niche marketing here, some new construction homes starting under 300,000. Remember, if you have a site builder website, you can create all of these kind of landing pages very, very, very easily. So you can actually link off to very niche markets on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever you want to link off to. So she's done this a little bit differently. So she has developed some graphics for some of her topics on here. So she has sold, listings, reviews, personal, and then trends. So she's really covering the whole gamut here of things. She's got her Veterans Day post. I'm gonna guess that she's probably expecting another one. She has her coming soon listing that she's getting in North Carolina. She's got some great trends. Here's one of her kids. Here's some interesting information about one of the schools that her kids attend. So again, that's making that community connection. And she's getting some good comments on here. Some community events that she's done, more coming soons. This post happens to be about the holidays, need a bigger space to entertain, we can help. We've got some great listings on this site. So it's just generic. It doesn't happen to be one of her listings. This is just a stock photo, but she's just doing some promotion on here. More kids, stuff with friends, more market stats, new listings. So you can really get to know her. You can get to know her agency. You're getting to know her business and her area. She's obviously connected in her schools. She's doing really well. She's got some reviews on here. If you can make this connection with this person, this is going to be somebody you're going to want to work with, especially if, you know, if it's somebody who appeals to you. And again, we're just looking at these two people here, just a microcosm of their own organization in their own area. Your Instagram is going to look completely different. Our market stats are different. Your niche marketing is different. Your family dynamic is different. How much you want to share is different. But you can see this is a great way to be able to combine just a little bit of everything to develop both that personal and that professional touch to make those connections in your social media. I'm going to show you now a YouTube account. This is probably one of my favorite agent accounts for YouTube. It's a fairly advanced account, but I wanted to show you some of the things that other agents are doing on YouTube. So right now, a lot of our agents are only using YouTube for Paradigm. So they have the Paradigm videos that are created automatically, and then they're uploaded to YouTube. Or they might be uploading some videos that have been shot by some of our photographers regarding their listings. You know, we don't have a lot of people who are really starting to curate information to give to people via YouTube. And don't forget, anytime you make some of these videos, you can also use it on Instagram. You can use it on Facebook. You can use it in your advertising. So for best practices, if you're looking for content to curate, you can curate your own and also get some great Google rankings for stuff like this as well. I mean, how many people have done best places to? So best places to eat in Virginia Beach, best hotels to stay out in Williamsburg, best fill in the blank. There's lots and lots of different things you can do. And this agent has really covered it all. She's down in the South, but she's talking about which city is number one, Augusta. How it costs how much, cost of living in Augusta. You can afford it. Let me go ahead and turn on my sound here real quick. We're not going to watch the whole video here, but let me just kind of give you a snippet.
You're thinking about moving to Augusta, but you need the hard money facts. Well, we're talking cost of living in Augusta, Georgia, and we're starting right now. Hi, I'm Kimberly Lahotny with Georgia Coast Homes and Keller Williams in Augusta. And today we're talking about how much it costs to live in the city of Augusta. I am a realtor and investor in Augusta, Georgia, and I have my license in South Carolina and in Georgia, so I can help you wherever you're looking. I love to help buyers find their primary home or an investment property in the CSRA. So before we get started, let's talk a little history about Augusta, Georgia. Now, Augusta is in Richmond County, and it was the second colony.
Okay, so I've just given you kind of a taste of this, and she's going to go into more and more communities. But I also wanted you to notice this. She's tagged this for Augusta. So anybody who's looking at videos for Augusta in this area, this kind of video is going to come up because it's been tagged as a location. So somebody's looking at something else in Augusta, you know, best golf courses in Augusta. This is the kind of video that becomes recommended to her. She's also done a great job here with doing all sorts of different downloads. Remember, we said a lot of this is about driving traffic and best practices and kind of making that circular presence online. So she's got her YouTube. I know this has been shared on her Facebook account, but then she also has links off to her website for downloading a relocation guide, searching for homes, getting more information. Here's the whole playlist about moving to Augusta. Here's all of her different things. So you can find her on Facebook. You can find her on Pinterest. I have no idea why she likes bacon, but I think it's funny. I love the personality here. That's just interjecting that little thing. Some people might like it, some people might not. But then she just goes into more things. This is all about disclosure, but it's all about search engine optimization. So these are all things to get to know her, but it also are things that Google can search on. So if somebody's looking for real estate in Augusta, but they also might pick up one of these different keywords, then Google is going to serve this kind of thing up. They've done a really fabulous job on here, but it's all about the neighborhood, and it's all about affordability, and it's all about different topics. Some of these are really humorous, but they have lots and lots and lots of different topics about different things. Some of it is about market trends. So instead of posting a market trend that's just a static image, they've literally just taken the static image and they've talked about it and made it into video content instead. So this is the kind of thing that's available to you. And it's also the kind of thing that keeps people on a channel. It keeps people subscribed. It gives you great content. And it allows people to find you on Google. This is really, really, really fabulous stuff. So pros and cons, cost of living, how's the market? And then of course we have the normal stuff, virtual tours, tips to sell your home, home ownership, DIY projects. It's all about real estate without actually saying, work for me, list with me. So I happen to like this quite a bit. Speaking of video, we've talked a little bit about TikTok in the past. I'm actually going to bring up a BHHS account because this is not an agent, but it actually is a company that we have in BHHS on TikTok. And really interesting thing, their follower count was quite low until they posted a video that went slightly viral, and their count has been going up and up and up and up since then. So when you're looking at things like this on here, this is a nice example for them of things that are both personal and also some listings and some fun stuff and all sorts of things.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. I'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world.
I clicked on that one because if you know me, you know I like pets. I'm going to click on a dog. So I've made that personal connection to this account, and that is the picture that I clicked on. Somebody else could be posting on something else.
Mess with me, baby, I'm a gangster too. Baby, I'm a gangster too. Baby, I'm a gangster too.
So that song was obviously a super trend on TikTok not that long ago. So the nice thing is because they tied some basic information that they had about that house to a song that had gone viral on TikTok. It means that it shows up more and more on the TikTok newsfeed, and it's fed up to more and more people. And you can see that they had 504,000 views on a video that was less than a minute long that showed a basement with a wine cellar attached to a really popular song. That's a lot of people with eyes on this. And it's also a lot of people who had, branding impressions. So imagine if somebody told you that for less than a video that took less than a minute to put together, that was basically stock photo that you had anyway with some text over top of it, they could guarantee you 504,000 impressions on social media. It's a pretty good deal. And that was the video, by the way, that got them the followers that they did. So their followers are growing and growing and growing. They're actually one of the first BHHSs to really embrace TikTok. And they're doing a great job with it as a company. There's a bunch of realtors that are also on TikTok on here, and they do a lot of things like explaining Q&As. These videos are very, very, very short. So it might be something like explaining to somebody how closings work. There's a great real estate agent on here who has some comedy going on, and she always likes to point out things that clients do that are terribly wrong, like buying two brand new cars the day before closing. And she makes fun of it, but it's also educational because some people don't realize that you can't do that. Or, the client who comes and says they need a 5-bedroom, 5-bath house and they want it on the water, but they can only qualify for $250,000. They make fun of it, but at the same time, it's still educational on here. And there's a way to do it in such a way that it makes it educational instead of and silly and comedic instead of being insulting. But really, the realtors who are embracing this are doing a great job. But you can start doing something like this with TikTok and best practices by just putting up your listings, putting up some great photos. You already have some of this content. You can take video with your phone super fast and tie a really cool song to it, something that's going viral right now, something that's really popular, and then go ahead and post it. Their views have been pretty good. And it's really interesting. I mentioned this in my last class, but the types of videos where they've worked really hard at it. So this one happens to be an agent showing off the house, doesn't get nearly as many views as some of the stuff that's more spontaneous, like the one with the wine cellar. So you never know what's going to go viral on here, but when it does it in a very big way, and it can be a great launching pad for you. Last social media thing I want to talk about today, just because I'm pushing my time a little bit, is Pinterest. So I'm not going to pull up an agent again on this one. I'm actually going to pull up, believe it or not, NAR. NAR is doing a heck of a job with Pinterest. They've generated a lot of content, and it's a great way to start looking at Pinterest in a different way. So many of us use this for design ideas or inspiration and things like that, but they're really using it to showcase knowledge about the home buying process, about homes and things like that. And Google, again, loves Pinterest. So as people are searching for some of this information, how do I buy a home? We take it for granted, but there's an awful lot of people who type that kind of thing into Google. How do I qualify for a home? What is a home inspection? What can I expect? A lot of people like to read about things like this ahead of time, even though they have you for all of that content, and even though they have you for those questions, they still go back and try to find it for themselves. So NAR is doing a great job, and you can see they've done a great job with their artwork. They're also doing a great job with their topics. Do you know how much home you can afford? Location, location, location. What are the must-haves in a new home? They've started to curate some of the things that are really interesting. They've got some pins with design. Of course, I'm going to always click on the dog. And then they have 5 bathroom design no-nos, beginner's guide to buying your forever home. So a lot of this is more professional. But imagine for you interspersing some of this, so some of these questions, some of this more interesting things, with things also about our area. A really great thing to pin are boards just about your cities that you work, about your neighborhoods, things in your neighborhoods. Pin those links to your favorite restaurants in Hampton. Pin those links to the top 10 homes that have sold in 2021, and send them all back to your website if you want to. The top waterfront neighborhoods in Hampton Roads, and pin those back to the landing pages that are on your website. All of that generates traffic for your website, but it also generates really interesting content for people who might be searching for things like that. They might be searching for Virginia Beach restaurants near me. One of the things that might come up would be that Pinterest board you've created about Virginia Beach restaurants, and you've curated a whole list of some of your favorites. And again, that starts making that community connection. You can drive it down to a blog post about those neighborhoods or those restaurants instead of sending it directly to the links. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with that, but it actually starts to generate that traffic again down to your website, and then also starts to make that connection for you. So for best practices on something like this, again, it's something that's personal, things that are design-like. Obviously, there's not things that are local in here with the Realtor Group, but hopefully I've shown you enough from local stuff that you would get an idea of what you could put in there. But also professional things, market trends, things that really help out in real estate. This is a great stuff. So today I've shown you a bunch of different resources. I've shown you some best practices, shown you some different accounts that you can use. I hope you've taken some inspiration from this on how you can be more social, how you can post more things, how you can cross-post things, especially to things like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And just kind of start curating that content and curating those connections, and really maintaining that influence with your friends and family and sphere online. So I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
All right, you can either unmute yourself or type it in the chat.
Hey, Kristen, it's Michelle. First, I wanted to say that was been an amazing hour going through this process of social media. I have just one quick question. If we want to look at this more in depth. I think there's a lot of information and I was furiously writing notes. What is the best way to go into this stuff more in depth? Is there something else with the training department or maybe website marketing team that can help us put these ideas into work?
So I would highly recommend that you definitely look at the social media playbook that's available on there, just because it'll give you those best practices. But we do go over social media kind of ideas and kind of how we can tie all this together in your overall marketing when you have those meetings with the marketing department. And kind of how we can tie in some of even like your listing presentations, your snail mail into your social design, and kind of give you some direction on where you want to go. But as I've mentioned in a lot of these classes, this is so personal. We tend to do it in kind of a one-on-one, but there's lots and lots of different resources that you have available on BHHS resource, especially in the Learn Center, which I didn't show you all those classes that are available if you need more information on that specifically.
And how can we set up a one-on-one, and who would we do that with?
We actually have a calendar for setting up marketing appointments. I'm not sure if Ralston can share that link in our chat for us, or you can just email marketing@bhhstown.com, and we can send you that link to our calendar for our department to make an appointment.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
All right.